I want to go back to Mike in Hershey, Nebraska. Says he was a coyote. That is, he got paid to bring people into this country illegally. Correct, Mike?
Correct.
Did you get caught at any time?
No, sir. I can tell you why I didn't get caught. It's because we already had a list of names of Border Patrol agents, when they worked, what time they worked, and they were paid off.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I'm not paid off.
That's the way it worked. I mean, I'm not saying all of them.
Yeah, well, I hope not, because that would be preposterous.
Yeah, because if we had a list, and there were certain days at certain times where we were allowed to cross. And it's because we knew they, we weren't going to, we weren't.
So you paid off border agents with your own money?
No, I didn't pay them off. No, there's these brokers. If I remember right, it's like every 200 to 300 illegal aliens that cross the border, they already have specific jobs or places where they're going to go. We don't just bring them and drop them off.
If you were to say to me, we knew the schedule and the border is very, very long and it was impossible for them to cover all the border at particular times and we had a sense for their schedule, that would be more believable to me. But when you tell me they're all paid, you tell me they're paid off, that's just not believable to me.
There was probably maybe 5 Border Patrol agents in the El Central area at the time that we knew their schedules. We knew what times they were working, what days off they had, everything of that. It was all, it wasn't just haphazardly done.
How long did you do this?
I did it for one summer back in '89. That was it. I couldn't take it anymore.
Who did you work for? You're not going to give me the name, but what was this? Was it organized crime? What was it?
Yeah, it was at that time it was called the Black Hand, like the Mexican Mafia.
Was it the mafia on our side of the border or the other side of the border?
Well, it was, the Mexican Mafia, they were at that time, they were centered out of a town called Nogales, Arizona,
Mexico.
which borders Nogales,
Arizona.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And, we got a flat rate. On average, you would take 10 illegals. And that flat rate, the connection for the
how much did you get?
Border crossing, about $5,000
for 10 people.
Yep, we would get we'd get a certain amount of money.
And where would you deliver these people? Who would you deliver them to?
Northern LA, in Los Angeles.
Well, what would you do? Drive up to a 7-Eleven and drop them off? What did you do?
No, there were what do you call it? Abandoned factories. They would have buses, little mini buses, waiting.
The mob.
And wherever they were going to get dropped off, they would have like little mini buses or vans, newer vehicles, so that they wouldn't draw attention. They go in the vans and away they go.
And they would pick them up.
And they would get picked up, and they would be taken to wherever they're supposed to go. I don't know how they did this, but sometimes we would drop off illegal aliens in northern Arizona. And
so you're telling me there's a whole network here that obviously is working on both sides of the border.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I finally want to just, tell somebody the truth is because about 80 to 90% of the males had to do with the drug trade. They would always try to...
Now, wait a minute. The people you would bring into the country were involved in the drug trade?
Yes.
Well, then why would you get $5,000? Were these people in the drug trade willingly?
No.
All right, so they were forced to sell drugs.
Exactly. And the women that would come across, they were always pre-sold into the sex trade. I don't know where these people figure out that a lot of these women...
So they're sold into the sex trade in the United States?
They're sold into the sex trade in the United States.
Mm-mm-mm. It's another reason to secure the border and cut all this off, so these sorts of things can't happen to these people here in this country.
That's exactly right. I told, I think it was the producer who was I talking to, that I don't know how they did it, but like when we take them to northern Arizona, somehow they would get on a bus. I'm assuming it was a Greyhound bus to Upper New York, or to New York, the state of New York. A lot of girls got sent there. And, back then I spoke a little Spanish, and the girls, it was completely understood that they were going to go into the sex trade.
How old are you now? Well, now, wait a minute. But a lot of these women probably didn't know that they were going to go into the sex trade until they were here, and they
knew. That was part of the deal. Yes, they knew, and they said that once their contracts were up, they were going to get papers, to become legal citizens, which is a lie. I mean, there's no way that can happen.
All right, Mike. Thank you for your edifications. Very, very fascinating.